Welcome back to the show, everybody. RWBY Volume 6, Chapter number 5, The Coming Storm. I gotta say, for an episode that the street said wasn't gonna do anything, this did a whole lot. And it is my job, as you have come here to see your boy Uncle Triple, to put this in perspective. So, let's take this perspective, okay? We open up our episode with a sign to end all signs. Sin Defender has gone back to see OG Young Spider-Gwen. And like, yo, OG Young Spider-Gwen, you got that work for me? She like, yeah, I got that work for you. I found whoever you was looking for. Like, yo, go to Atlas. And it's like, Cinder figures this out herself. Like, yo, that makes sense because, you know what I'm saying, that's the thing you're supposed to do. Cinder was in with the plan. I'm like, I'm going somewhere with this. Just let me roll. So, OG Young Spider-Gwen sits up here and said, yeah, but I found something else. Cinder look up like this. Somebody up there holding a sign that says, and I quote, bitch, you about to get this work. And I quote again, bitch, you about to get this work. My girl Neo is back, son. Like, you thought it was over? Nah, not Neo. Nah. No, Torchwitch can catch this L, but Neo, nah. We ain't seen enough of her putting in work, but we's about to get us a Neapolitan treat, because, oh my God, that fight was off the chain. So, in this sign that says, bitch, you's about to get this work, that could only mean one thing. I think the song goes something like, somebody's getting fucked, somebody's getting fucked, cause Neo back with this sign, you about to get this work, you about to get this work, Cinder about to get this work, and that's precisely mostly what happened. Cinder got this work. That don't mean Cinder Fender didn't deliver the work back. But work was indeed dished out by both sides. Neo pissed. Roman gone. Torchwick then caught that massive motherfucking L. The L you don't come back from. And she pissed. Indeedly so. Is that, you know what? I'll explain that later because that does need some clarification. I'll say that for in a minute. But, bitch, you about to get this work and work was gotten. So, that fight was off the motherfucking meter. I can't even lie. Like, there were ashtrays being thrown. Like, flash kicks. Like, it was some Tai Chi Quan in there. I'm just like, damn. I'm like, I know Cinder Fender could put in the work, but she's sitting up her, and I'm just sitting up her like, damn, son. Like, for real, girl. I'm like, yo. But at the same time, when you really think about Cinder Fender, it's like, you really think that even though all we done seen her do is sit up here and throw magic fireballs, that you really think that girl can handle herself? That would just prove that she can sit up here no powers and put in work on those. But then, given who Cinder is, that makes sense. On the other side of this ball, again, Neo pissed. Torchwick gone. She blames Cinder Fender for it. So that's what this fight is all about. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, again, we talking about a fight where there was Taiji Kwan, there were plates being thrown. I'm just like, there were flash kicks, for God's sakes, okay? And when you got a fight that involves that and a whole bunch of other craziness, work got delivered. The work was signed and delivered with a kiss of this ass whooping, cause damn. But in the meantime, in between time, one of my favorite parts of that whole fight was OG Young Spider-Gwen set up here like, could y'all take this bullshit outside, please? Could y'all take this outside? In the midst of that, because I want to just get the fight outside, is that in this instance, there was something else at work here. I think I want to refer to this as the man. And the man in this instance, because we talking about straight fire, is Becky Lynch. But, you know, that's wrestling. We do that twice a month or something around here. But the man, because it's the man. Because if you really think Salem ain't got nothing to do with this, given everything we have learned about this character over the past 2 episodes, you'd be dead fucking wrong. Because see, here's the thing. During and before OG Young Spider-Gwen told them to take that bullshit outside, we saw Cinder, and now who we thought was powerless is now feeling the motherfucking glow. And we ain't talking about glow like Naomi's second pro wrestling reference in this review. We talking about the glow like Bruce motherfucking Leroy. The glow, bitch. The glow of you fit to catch this fucking L. And that L was caught. Because after OG Young Spider-Gwen told him to take that bullshit outside, we saw another side of Cinder. And Cinder the whole time, while she's sitting up here straight, sitting up here trying to get Neo to calm down while delivering his ass whooping at the same time, is trying to explain to her, look, what happened to your boy, that's not necessarily on me. Yeah, I ran the plan, but you couldn't, and you probably could have, but maybe not, calculated for Ruby Rose. This is about to become important in 2 seconds. In this, because of the man reference blah, is Cinder sits up here and then some of the cyclone around her. We know what this means. No need to really explain it. That because, again, we still don't know the full result of Cinder Fender versus Auntie That's a Raven yet. And I got a feeling that given all of this truth that we've learned, and given Crow's current mental state, and we'll talk a little bit about that later, that if you think Auntie Raven ain't just gonna appear out of nowhere, Auntie Raven's gonna appear out of somewhere. That's a triple to goddamn guarantee, bitch. Letting your ass know. Regardless of this, it is at this point that after Cinder then sat up her and fought Neo back, and it's like in this wondrous fight, Neo had no choice. Like reverse Jon Snow, bend the knee, and she bent that knee. Well, technically she didn't. But it was more of this understanding that, yeah, I get it. You lost something. You blame me for it, but like Mystical, it ain't my fault. I didn't do that. It ain't my fault. It's not my fault. You want Ruby Rose's head on a spike. So do I. It is in this that there's something important that needs to be explained about this immediate magic of character development. You have just watched the downfall of Cinder Fell. You want Uncle Triple to explain? Let me. Alright, I'm watching this episode, right? And I see this. And on top of that, Uncle Triple absorbs enough fiction to understand where this is going. See, Cinder Fell is a character who always had this 270 degrees of peripheral vision. Like, it's mostly 225 for most humans, but it's Cinder, so I'll give you the extra 45 degrees, right? Cinder has always been big picture, bigger plan. But that more has to do with the man, Salem, in this instance, because she is the man. Spitting hot fire. Literally, shout out to Becky Lynch. Again, regardless. In this, we understand that when you have that type of focus of understanding that while good things are good, bad things are bad, whatever, that the focus is what the plan, the bigger picture. Cinder's worldview in that sentence went from this to this. You went from peripherals to blinders in an instant, and that's going to be your downfall. Because again, as someone who absorbs media, I can see this coming from a mile away. Now, unless they got some Cinder redemption arc like 3 volumes from now, this is the end of this character. Because we've seen in this show what single solitary focus can do to you. For example, it gets you a double axe handle to the back by your ex-girlfriend, and then continues to sit up and shit on any character development you had because everyone thinks you're fucking insane, which you are. Oh, poor Adam. But regardless of that, when you go from this to this as a character, you give yourself strength and weakness. The strength of understanding that the one focus is this thing. The weakness is the one focus is this thing. Because see, now you've lost the peripheral vision. You've traded it for blinders for your revenge. Your downfall is coming unless this is finna lead, like I said, unless this finna to lead to some magical Cinder Fender redemption arc or something. I don't know what's gonna happen to this character because it's a wrap for her. Because see, in an instance of this here, and I'm making it here, is that one side of revenge will make it do dumb shit. Like, for example, going up against the man because the man don't give a fuck and will take your ass out because she is indeed the man, right? Doing dumb things like that. Also, here's another dumb thing. By the time Cinder and RWBY get in the same room, yeah, she probably not gonna be able to fuck with RWBY. That's just probably where this is heading. Because given that we have to go back to the form of Ninja Turtles Part 1, the movie, if we go in there in a second, is if this build up to whatever this RWBY is and Silver Eyes and whatever the hell in Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, which I'm hoping to get some news for this week, is you really think that even with Cinder with everything she got, you really think that being driven simply by revenge is going to actually win her today? Now, I'm not sitting up here saying that Cinder, before RWBY gets superpowers, ain't gonna drop one of the rest of the squad because that's what's gonna be the leader. Because again, it's like if you really want to sit up here and get technical, predictable of what can happen given this new peripheral focus, which now exists is because you have blinders of revenge on now, is somebody, not Ruby Rose, of WBY is gonna catch them a motherfucking L, and this is gonna lead to RWBY sitting up here delivering a massive, ginormous motherfucking L. So L's beget L's. That's what we do here, letting you know. Stay in the LAB studying them LLLs, 12 letters of the alphabet, bitches, cause people finna catch them. But that's where we are right now. Oh, and one more thing. The man. Shout out to Don't Be a Menace. I'm like, yo, I sat up here and then, like, again, like, as soon as I saw Cinder's hand light up, it's Salem. No way in hell. No way in hell is where are my words at? Oh, let's try that again. Ain't no way in hell that Salem letting Cinder walk around like this without just sitting up here being like, whatever. No way. I'm like, I'm not sitting up here like trying to sit up here and I quote, give the man all of this praise, but she's worthy of the praise because she is indeed the man. Because you really think, for real, you really think that Salem letting Cinder walk around like this and ain't keeping her in check? Come on now. Don't be that dumb. Like, I school niggas like the United Negro College Fund. No way. Nah. No way in hell that Salem is letting Cinder walk around, get all his power back, and it ain't for some immediate Salem goal. Because again, let me remind you, Salem is the man. Okay? Just so you know. But all in all, L's were caught. We had fun times. A sign was held up that read, and I quote, "Bitch, you about to catch this motherfucking work." Work got caught. Neo took the knee. Cinder can summon a cyclone around herself at will now. But this is all in service to the man. So, I'm glad we took some time to really talk about this. This is going to go somewhere, but unless Cinder got some redemption coming, this is the end of her. You have just signed your own character death warrant. Or what we like to call in the business, a death flag. Which also says, bitch, you about to catch this motherfucking work. Alright. Meanwhile, at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle farmhouse, hey nigga, you wanna see a dead body? Dead bodies everywhere. See, we not even gonna massage our way into this. Dead motherfucking bodies. Now, you have your many things that could have happened to these people. I like to sit up here and think that Shang Tsung walked into everybody's house and stole their souls. I like that. Because I think it's funny that another character from a video game would walk into a technical anime, steal the souls of people, and leave. That makes me... Okay. Alright. Okay, let's get him. Okay. Alright, okay. Like, cause for real, when I saw them dead bodies, dog, I'm like, Shane Sutton walked through here, dog, and just took everybody's soul and left. Okay. Alright. See, let me get you things up why I thought it's okay. I'm like, you shouldn't laugh at your own joke, but that was hella funny and just like man random. But look, okay. Let's get control here. Okay, alright, okay, come on. We gotta get control. Come on, T. Let's okay. Alright. Meanwhile, at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Part 1 movie Farmhouse, we got some character development. Very important character development. Crow's still pissed and wants to get drunk. More on that later. Oscar the Niglet farmer didn't really do anything. Ain't that old lady's name Maria? She still ain't done shit yet. Bumblebee's having issues. We should get into that. We totally should. It's hinted at when you watch the OP. We've known this for a while now. My bae, it should be your bae too, Yang Xiaolong. Suffering from post-traumatic, I just got my arm cut off by a motherfucker who got a double axe handle to the back syndrome. It's like, here's the thing that I know about PTSD in real life. You never really get over it. Things trigger post-traumatic stress syndrome. And right now, I don't really think that these are triggers as much as Yang is overly worried that something bad's gonna happen. But given how many bad things happen to y'all when y'all in the groups, I be legitimately shook too. So I can understand that. At the same time, however, given that whole conversation and how, it wasn't exactly Blake trying to humanize Adam, but that's kind of what it sounded like. But at the same time, she sat up here and said about how small he made her feel to bring her down to his level. And I'm gonna be for real, and this is some real shit. That is what victimizers do to their victims. Real shit. That's real shit. I known people who've been through some shit with a motherfucker who was verbally, physically, mentally abusive. And that's what victimizers do, to try to bring them down to their level, make them feel like they less, so they can tower over them and God over them. And that shit is just fucked up and it's wrong. The thing is that through everything that Blake went through, she was able to deliver herself from that. And that's a good thing. That's a wonderful thing, that she was able to deliver herself from that. And all she wants to do is be there for her friend. And it's like, I don't understand and know why Yang felt so hurt when Blake looked at her and like, I'm going to protect you because I failed you once, I won't fail you again. But when you have somebody like Yang who is sitting up here and dealing with this and has been for a while now, that she lost her arm, it took a whole lot for her to get back to where she was. And then once she got to a place of some kind of calm and auntie, that's a Raven entered the picture, that made things complicated. And we're right back to this complication of remembering that a man took your arm. That in all of this, and this is the really important part, healing takes time. As someone who has lost something very precious to them, healing takes time. And it's like, time does heal all wounds. It does. In this instance, however, that even if time heals all wounds and that's how the way you want to go with it, I'm not sitting up here saying that you put your feelings on the back burner, but when you really think about when you are, like, what's on the line here, sometimes you gotta sit up here, you gotta face that head on, that you gotta be quick about it, but treat it with the care that it deserves, because you are hurt. But humanity's on the line. And while I'm not sitting up here in any way dismissing what's going on with Yang, my girl gotta get over herself. She got to. And no, if you were looking for me for a musical interlude of Eden's Crush, no. Get over yourself, goodbye. No. I had to lighten the mood somehow. But that's where we are right now. It's like, I understand why that scene played out like it did, because we talk about Yang, she headstrong, hard-headed, A hard head make the soft and hard head make a soft ass. It's true. Throwback. OGs. Mama told me that all the time. Still true today. I wish a lot more of y'all would listen to kind of sage advice like that, because if you're not listening to people who've done it before you, or listening at all when the signs are there, yeah, it's gonna hurt a lot. I'm not saying that is what it is. At the same time, though, and this is really legitimately important, is Yang will get through it on her own time. Maybe, I'm not sitting up here saying Blake was wrong, but consider who you're talking to. That when you sit up here and look at her and say, I'll protect you, I promise, you making her feel weak, but that's Yang. It's like I watched that scene and understood what Blake was trying to imply. But sometimes implication is not what is said. Because implication from you may be different for the receiver who's receiving it, and that was the end of that scene. Bumblebee will get over it. They are best ship. They will get over it. They'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Meanwhile, we got a snow roast thing. Beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat them, the more you toot. Beans. In this, however, there was something that was very important that happened that I skipped because I made a joke about Shang Tsung taking souls. Weiss was the one that found all the husk of the cells of the bodies that were Shang Tsung stole all their souls. This legitimately freaked her out, and if you're sitting up here looking at dead bodies, and then this would be the point where I will reinsert that Boys in the Hood. Like, nigga, you want to see a dead body? Did it. Check mark. So, in understanding and knowing all this, in the meanwhile, is that during this, and this is before the Blake gang stuff, because I wanted to get that out the way, Uncle Crow went around like, Shang Tsung stole everybody's souls. Everybody. He just walked around like, yo, I need souls to bring back Shao Kahn again. Souls. Steal them all. Just steal these souls. Just steal them. So, we got a mystery afoot. What the hell really happened to these people? Which isn't that Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat came in and stole all their souls. If you really thought that was an actual legitimate answer, you were semi-wrong, because it's still my theory. It's my theory, and I'm sticking with it till the show tells me otherwise. Shang Tsung came to RWBY, stole people's souls, and left. But it's like, but you have to really wonder, given that this is the world that we interact with, like, what really happened to these people? That is a legitimate question of what really happened to these people. Oh, did I mention Uncle Crow still pissed off? Did I mention that? Yeah, I think I did. Meanwhile, we got Snowy and Rosie. They looking for beans because they ultimately found beans. They found liquor. They found lots of liquor. They like, yo, don't tell Uncle Crow because he gonna come down here and get fucking wasted. Well, given what Uncle Crow's currently dealing with, yeah, he go down there and get fucking wasted. But none of that is important as the beans RWBY found. But nothing's more important than the thing they didn't open that made a sound before the episode ended. So, is the thing that locked itself in the wine cellar the thing that actually stole everyone's soul? We don't know. Have no idea. Meanwhile, there was a fire. Maria's going to read Oscar the Niglet Farmer a bedtime story, and Oscar the Niglet Farmer didn't do anything. If you were looking for anything else happening in the farmhouse from Ninja Turtles Part 1, that was it. That was legitimately it. For episode, internet was screaming wasn't gonna do nothing. Episode put in the work. We got a lot of character development. We got a lot of setup moving towards this, and great episode to watch. So, we've got more show for you. I am the one and the only Triple the G.O.D, aka Yo Uncle Triple. We live here on Team GRF TV, and I'm gonna keep holding up these signs because this shit is funny as fuck. And we indeed got more show for you after these Commercial messages. Yes, of course there was a sign for evil laugh. Why did you think there would not be sign for evil laugh? Welcome back home, Neo. We've missed you. We love you on Ruby TV, but we glad you're in the building putting in this work. What will happen to Cinderfell? We don't know. Something about Silver Rise, Shang Tsung. Somebody's probably going to get really, really, really fucking wasted, and we're going to find out what's in the cellar where there's beans. Lovely beans. Well, more like Pinkie Pie, but whatever. Look, we've got more show for you, and we've of course got that after these commercial messages.